Hey guys, welcome to today's literacy lesson. Now, can you remember what we are doing this week? What text are we looking at? We are looking at play scripts. But before we start today looking at the features of a play script, let's start with a little starter. We're going to have a practice at some of our spellings. So go and grab a bit of paper, a notebook, and a pencil, and I'm going to read out a spelling, and you're going to try your best to spell it. Okay? So the first spelling word for today is court. Court. Miss Benja caught the red ball. Remember, if you would like more time to write the word, then pause the video so it gives you enough time to write it. The next word, word number 2, is arrive. Arrive. When will my parcel arrive? That's what Miss Benja thinks after she's been doing a lot of online shopping. Word number 3 is answer. Answer. When the phone rings, I answer it. Spelling number 4 is minute. Minute. How many seconds are there in a minute? And spelling number 5, our last spelling, is imagine. Imagine. Imagine if you get all 5 spellings correct. Right, super. Now I'm going to show you the answers. So tick which ones you got correct and maybe put a little dot or a star on the ones that you didn't. And they can be your target spellings for this week. So remember our target spellings, it would be really, really good if you can try and practice them every day. So next time you get them correct. Super. Right, moving on to today's lesson. So in today's lesson, we're going to be identifying the features of a play script. Now, I know I did run through it a little bit yesterday, but today, that's all we're going to be doing. So really familiarizing ourselves with all of the features that a play script has in it. So to be successful in today's lesson, we're going to read some play scripts, identify some of the features in a couple of play scripts, and also we're going to be explaining the features of these play scripts and thinking about the purpose of them, why they are there. Essentially. So, of course, as we spoke about yesterday, a play script is a piece of writing that is written for the stage. A play script will include a list of characters at the very beginning. It may be divided into acts, which are then divided into scenes. Because remember, a play script is acted. It's for the actors, so they know what they're doing. Each scene will have a description of the setting at the start and then the character's dialogue. Okay, so we've had a little look at a play script yesterday. We're going to continue to develop our knowledge of them today. So the features of a play script, I'm going to run through the features, then we're going to look at them in more detail. Then we're going to see if we can spot them together. Then you're going to have a go by yourself. Okay, so let's have a look at the features of a play script. A character list, scene number and title, a brief setting description, dialogue lines with speaker names and colons, which are the 2 little dots here, which separates the character from the dialogue, stage directions, which are in brackets. And sometimes play scripts have a narrator, not all the time, but occasionally they will use a narrator. Now, let's have a little look at these in more detail so we definitely understand them. Let's have a look. Right, so features of a play script. So the first feature, like we said, we looked at is a character list. So at the start of a play script, you will usually find all the characters in a list. So for example, if we're looking at the Alice in Wonderland play script, they will list all the characters that are in the play. And this helps anyone who wants to perform the play know how many actors they need. Sometimes they will have a short description with them too, to explain, maybe their personality or what they should be doing. Next feature, scene number and title and setting description. So at the start of a scene, as you can see, we have the scene number and the scene title. We also have a brief setting description too. The setting description actually tells us what the stage looks like. It tells us who might be on stage, what we would need, and what's going on the stage. The next feature is the speaker name, colon, and the dialogue. So in a script, the name of the character who is speaking always goes on the left. Then comes the colon after the name. After the colon is the dialogue. So they're the words that the character says. Remember, we don't use speech marks as we don't need to because it's a play script. And of course, like we mentioned before, we also have stage directions. Now, as you can see, stage directions are words in brackets. These are instructions to the actors so they know what their character should be doing. So the example here for the White Rabbit, it says anxiously whilst rushing across the stage. So whilst he's saying, I'm late, he has to be running across the stage looking quite anxious. Sometimes they also tell the actor how to say their words. It's really important that we remember when the actors are performing, they don't say the stage directions. They're just there to help them perform their actions and to know how to say things. We don't say the things that are in brackets. And like I said, some play scripts have narrators in. So narrators help to set the scene for the audience, but some plays don't have this. Now we've had a little look at some of the features in more detail, we're now going to have a go at spotting them in a play script together. Here I have got an example of a play script. Let's see if we can spot any of the features we've just talked about. So pause this video and have a go at looking for the features before we have a go together. Right, let's have a look together and see if we can spot the features. So for starters, I can see here scene 3, Granny's Cottage. That's the scene number and the scene title. So that's a feature that we spotted. Good. The next feature here is, I'm going to pop this in green. This is our brief setting description. It tells us what's happening at the start of the scene and who might be there and just a little bit of detail about what to expect when the scene starts. Lights up on Granny's cottage in the woods. Granny sits in the rocking chair knitting. We have our dialogue. So we have here our character. We have our colon. And then of course, our dialogue is this part here. So this is the bit that our character says. Whoops. There we go. And we have that for a variety of characters. So we've got the big rabbit, we've got Granny. Right, so there is all our dialogue. We also have some stage directions. Now, the stage directions, remember, are in brackets. As you can see, I didn't circle that in purple because it's not dialogue. The character doesn't say it. It's in brackets to tell us that it's an action that the character has to do, or the way they have to say something. So I found 2 stage directions there. Also, in this particular play script, we would also have stage directions here. It's common for stage directions to also be in italics. They're normally in brackets, but sometimes we would find them in italics too. So you just have to read them. Remember, if it's telling somebody to do something, or it's an action, or the way something should be said, then it would be a stage direction. So normally they're in brackets, but the odd occasion you might find them in italics. Okay, so we would have two stage directions there, which are instructing our characters to do something specific. Right, so as you can see, we have spotted all the features of this play script. That's great. What you're going to do for your task is you are going to familiarize yourself with the features of a play script. Just like we've done, we've read a play script and identified the features. You're going to do that for today's task. You're going to choose a play script on DB Primary and identify the features like we just did together. If you want to color code them and annotate, that's fine. You can do it however you like, as long as you identify all of the features that it contains. By doing this task, it will develop your understanding of all the different features, which is really useful, as tomorrow we're going to start to plan our own play script. So it's really important that you understand all the features. Good luck with today's task. Have a go, and I will see you tomorrow for another literacy lesson. Bye.